Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a positive spin. Today, we're going to be talking about the infamous Night Swim. Now, why did I say infamous? Well, number one, this movie gets a lot of hate. A lot of hate. And two, the infamy comes from this being one of the quote unquote January horror films. Now, January horror films are generally thought of as crap. Worst movies of the year get released on January. For example, Wish Upon. Everyone hated that one. I liked it. Go figure. The Turning. Everyone hated that one. That's a little bit different. That's going to be a different video for a different day. I didn't hate it, but there were definitely some problems. And the list goes on and on. Well, in 2024, Night Swim came out, and it got the normal hate that most January movies get. Now, my history with this movie. I've had this in my collection for over a year and didn't watch it. Now, there's a reason for that, and it has three letters Joe. Thanks, Joe. No, I'm just giving him a hard time. We had originally put this off until we were going to do our 2024 ranking, and I think we were both a little, as Joe put it, cautiously optimistic about watching this film since it got so much hate. So I'm watching it. The beginning, it's okay. Because that's the story of the family that lived in the house before. Well, part of the story. You do get the rest of the story later. But when we're dealing with the main characters or the new family, I genuinely really enjoyed this film. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, of course, this is a positive spin. Now, a 4.7 is ridiculous for this movie. I wonder sometimes if people actually watch the film. Maybe they don't like it and walk out. Maybe they don't care. Or maybe they just jump on the bandwagon. And I think a lot has to do with that. And I'm sure I'm going to hear in the comments, oh, they didn't do enough character development. That's crap. They did plenty of character development. This movie goes a lot deeper than a lot of the other horror movies. And it kind of hit me in a certain way. Now, just a brief synopsis. I don't want to really get into the film all that much, but you have a professional baseball player who has been diagnosed with MS. Him and his family move into this house that has a pool because his doctor said that, it would probably have less pressure on his joints. He could do water therapy, and I have been in water therapy as well when I had my knee replaced. And let me tell you something, all that is true and then some. I also had water therapy involving balance and stuff like that, and that helps as well. So this kind of hit a little bit home. I've never had MS. I did have cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. So I get the devastation that a diagnosis similar to MS wreaks havoc on a family. That's the first positive. And it doesn't sound like a positive, but to me it is. Because I think the family dynamic was really good in this film. You basically have the father, who was a baseball player, his wife, an older daughter, and a son who's about, 12, 13, maybe 14. I can't remember if they said it. And my first positive is going to be not only the acting, but the family dynamic. And yes, they did a ton of character development, which I really appreciated. If you don't think they did character development, you obviously didn't pay attention to the film. And I'm going to say that because this, like I said, this movie goes a little bit deeper. There's a whole bunch of different things that are going on at the same time with this film. You know, the father, this is about a haunted swimming pool. I'm not going to, uh, actually, it's about haunted water, but yeah. A lot of people said they didn't explain the haunted part of the film, but they did. Like I said, I don't think people watch the movie. Either they're playing on their phones or they're engaged in something else. Because that's the next thing that is a big positive for me was they actually explained it very well what was happening. Because of course the father was getting better and the family didn't want to leave the house even though they had seen some strange things happening. Um this movie is creepy. That's a big positive. This movie has great effects, and that's another positive. A really good soundtrack, and I like not only the family dynamic, but the husband being a famous person. Now, we've already seen that in 2024 with Smile 2. I'll leave my thoughts on Smile 2 for, I guess, our ranking. But I like that aspect of the storytelling because everyone always wishes for money and fame, and sometimes it isn't all it's cracked up to be. And that's another positive. To me, this movie was like the Amityville Horror in water. And it's really weird because once you find out the entirety of the premise, once they explain what's going on, water is impossible to get away from. You need it. You need it to nourish your body. You need it to clean yourself. And you need it if you're going swimming. So I thought that that was very interesting. Um, the movie is extremely well made, and we're already running over 7.5 minutes, so I'm going to cut this one a little short. I don't understand the hate for this film. Everybody loves either the original Amityville Horror or the remake of Amityville Horror. Very seldom does someone say, I don't like either one of them, I just don't like that movie at all. And I'm sure the number of people that were complaining about this film probably like one or the other. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I'm going to leave it at that. Um, what is so different between this movie and the Amityville Horror? Uh, other than the fact that you have a house versus water, because it's basically a family trying to survive in this place, and it's not as easy as picking up and leaving, like the Lutzes did in the Amityville Horror. So you guys tell me, you know, how is there a lot of difference? And what is it about this film that you hate so much? I don't get it. Just remember to keep it nice. And don't forget to check out Joe's Positive Spin for Night Swim. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.